So what's happening, people? It's me again, Courtney, doing my MMA predictions. Sorry it's a bit late, very late in fact. I've just been crazy busy over these last few months, not being able to get the videos up in time. But this time it's for UFC 139, Mauricio Shogun who versus Dan Henderson, which will take place on Saturday the 19th of November 2011 at in San Jose at the HP Pavilion Arena, I think, I don't know. But yeah, it's a stacked card. It's got some really good fights on there. But yeah, I haven't got my notes or anything like that, so this is going to be a shorter video, real short in fact. But yeah, first on the main card is Stephan Bonner versus Kyle Kingsbury. Stephan Bonner, everyone knows him from one of the most famous fights in the UFC. Ultimate Fighter 1 veteran, got decent striking, his wrestling's okay. You know, to me, he's never really shone in any particular area, but he's a decent fighter. He's fighting Kyle Kingsbury. I haven't watched many of his fights, but from what it looks like, he's decent. He's quite good. You know, he's on a 4-fight win streak at the minute, and that's in the UFC. So for that fight, I'm not a particular fan of Bonner anyway. But I'm going to pick Kyle Kingsbury via decision to win that fight. Next on the main card, I think is, hold on, let me check. Is Rick Story versus Martin Kampmann. Rick Story was on his way up the welterweight ladder. He beat Thiago Alves. He beat a few guys at that weight. Not only top guys, but he's beat a few guys. He beat Thiago Alves. He was supposed to fight Nate Marquardt at UFC. Hold on a minute. UFC Live. But Marquardt had to drop out due to that testosterone malarkey, so he fought Charlie Brenneman instead. Previous to that, he was on a 6-fight win streak in the UFC. Charlie Brenneman came in the last moment and beat him. So you know, I think they're giving him Kampmann to try and go back up the ladder again. Rick Story got decent ground and pound. He's more of a decision guy. You know, he will wear you down, take you down, keep pounding on you. But he's fighting Martin Kampmann, and Martin Kampmann has lost his last 2 fights, which was against Diego Sanchez and Jake Shields. Many people didn't think he lost against Diego Sanchez, but Kampmann, you know, I think the UFC want him to stay in. Basically, he's a good fighter. I think you know, this is my thinking anyway. I think they want him to beat Story so he can work his way back up. It's the type of guy he needs to beat, and needs to beat convincingly. So, you know, but Rick Story's no joke. He will take you down and keep you down and beat the hell out of you. But anyway, I think, for me personally, I think Martin Kampmann's going to win this fight. I think this will be, you know, it's do or die for him basically. I think there was a point in his UFC career he went 3 straight losses. Then he got 2 wins, and if he loses this would be another run of 3 straight losses. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to win either via decision or TKO. No, not TKO. Yeah, I think he's going to win by a decision. So Martin Kampmann by a decision. Next on the main card is, this card's quite stacked. Decent fighters all around, good fights. Is Mandalay? No, it's not. Is Uriah Faber versus Brian Bowles. Uriah Faber, the former WEC featherweight champion. Brian Bowles, the former bantamweight. Is it bantamweight? Yeah, bantamweight champion. That's right. Uriah Faber, very well rounded, decent hands, decent striking. Got a good submission game, very good submission game. Guillotines, rear naked chokes. He's really good at those. You know, but he tends to, what pees me off about him, he doesn't, like when he's fighting Dominic Cruz, it took him about, I think it was till about the 3rd round where he actually started following up with combinations instead of just doing his one punch and then, you know, sort of like a bit of a poser basically. But you know, he needs to get in there. If he got in there a bit quicker, stay with the combinations, I think he'd find more success. But he's fighting Brian Bowles. Brian Bowles is very heavy-handed. Faber's got more experience than him, but Bowles heavy-handed. One of the only guys to finish Miguel Torres. Brian Bowles looks like a serial killer or something, man. He's got that crazy, like, you know, that, what do you call it, flick hair, and he just looks crazy. The guy looks like no, you know, he looks like the guy you see in the street, just a no regular guy, but this guy can fight. He's got decent chokes as well, decent hands. But this fight, I'm picking Faber to win via decision. I think he's gonna out-grapple him, and I think he's gonna try and get in, you know, probably scramble with him as well. But I think Faber's gonna get better at that and probably choke him out. So Uriah Faber to win. Next on the main card is one of my personal favourite fighters. Wanderlei Silva versus Kong Lee. Wanderlei Silva, the axe murderer, legend, always comes to fight every time, but that may be his downfall. But you know, Wanderlei Silva, you know, true warrior. He's fighting Kong Lee. Sanshao champion. This guy can kicks like a flipping horse. He kicks hard. Both of these guys are getting older. Kong Lee can kick, has been knocked out. Obviously Scott Smith took care of that, but then obviously got a rematch and they beat Scott Smith. But you know, this fight, it depends how Wanderlei's going to fight. If he's going to fight like he fought against Michael Bisping, he might have a chance of winning. But if he's going to fight like he fought against Chris Lieben, he's going to get knocked out again. Kong Lee's going to try and keep him on the end of the kicks, because Kong Lee can kick all day and he kicks hard, very hard. So he has to be careful when rushing in. But I think he should get in close, you know, and use his tie clinch and his inside work instead of staying on the outside and trying to hit him. Because if Wanderlei don't kick back, I guarantee Wanderlei will kick as hard as Kong Lee. Kong Lee kicks like a mule. Wanderlei kicks very hard. Kong Lee kicks harder, I think. But for this fight, I'm praying Wanderlei wins. I'm gonna put money on Wanderlei. I think he's the underdog in this fight. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Wanderlei to win. Hopefully. Next is the main event: Mauricio Shogun Hua versus Dan Henderson. Shogun, straight Pride badman, kicked up everyone in the Pride 2005 Grand Prix. Former UFC light heavyweight champion. He fights better when he's fought regular. Instead of coming off an injury and losing, he fights better. Like, he's had a fight, he's been injury free, so he's coming straight to another fight. He fights a lot better than coming. Obviously, everyone does, but it seems to affect him in a big way. Loses belts and everything. But you know, Shogun, wicked Muay Thai, crazy striking, will try to kick those crazy wheel kicks and spinning back kicks and whatever. But he's fighting a legend. Dan Henderson, a lot of people, I don't know, I just think when I think what Dan Henderson's done, this guy's won, at the time, the Pride Welterweight Championship, which is equivalent to the UFC Middleweight Championship, and he won the Pride Middleweight Championship, which is equivalent to the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. He held 2 belts in 2 categories, right? Then comes back to Strikeforce, fights at middleweight and light heavyweight. He's a current Strikeforce light heavyweight champ. Then he goes and batters Fedor. Name another fighter that's done all that. No one. Dan Henderson. People should be talking a lot more about this guy than, you know, people will talk about, John Jones, John Jones, yes, good, very good. But Dan Henderson is not beat. Dan Henderson beat up Fedor, got 2 belts. He's got 3 belts. Had 3 belts anyway. He's got 1 more. But you know, Dan Henderson is really good. He's 40 now. Everyone knows about his big right hand. You stay away from his big right hand. You don't circle. If you're an orthodox fighter, you do not circle to your left, because you'll get that big right hand straight in your jaw, as Michael Bisping found out. Yeah, his wrestling's really good. His takedowns, his ground and pound is really good as well. The one area that Dan Henderson's lacking in is submissions. If he's fighting a guy that can do submissions like Shogun, he will get submitted. Nogueira, Little Nog did it to him in Pride. You know, who else did it to him? Jake Shields nearly got him as well with the submission in Strikeforce. I was really surprised actually that Jake Shields beat him. the way he did. But yeah, Dan Henderson is really good. This fight, I don't know. Paul Daly, Strikeforce fighter. I got in contact with him. He reckons Hendo's going to win via TKO. Who else? I got contact with RJ Winner as well. He reckons. Let me just check this. RJ Winner. He likes both fighters, obviously, but he's going with Henderson as well. So both Roughhouse fighters, Paul Semtex Daly and RJ Winner, both going with Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson is the favourite. Obviously, would beat Fedor, man. Would Shogun beat Fedor? That's a question. But yeah, I'm not picking Hendo. I'm not picking Hendo. I think Shogun can win this if he stays away from. Obviously, he stays away from his right hand and his left hand. Uses his kicks, wears down Henderson, and then But I think he could submit him as well, to be honest. But I'm picking Mauricio Shogun Rua to win, either via submission or decision. And I know Bloodstain Lane will be jumping for. He's picked Shogun as well. I know he'll be jumping for joy, if he does win, because the Pride Old School is back. This is Pride versus Pride, really, ain't it? So Pride's winning in all states here. But anyway, there's one of my muted predictions. Follow me on Twitter with the same username, chokewho. Check out tweetmma.co.uk, mmapundit.co.uk. Check out where I train, or I'm supposed to be training, leicestermma.co.uk. And I'm on, what else am I on? Google Plus, I'm on there. I'm on Tumblr at the moment as well. I'm just getting used to that. It's quite good, actually. But yeah, if you've got any questions or anything, holla. And I will get the next video up way before the UFC. Way before, at least a week before. Anyway, peace.